on a snowy Christmas Eve in a grand mansion. Festive cheer hides simmering grudges and dark secrets in till a scream shatters the night, and the family patriarch is found dead, blood pooling in a locked room. Only Hercule Poirot can unravel this chilling holiday murder. We're at Gorston Hall, a huge, fancy house in the snowy English countryside, where a cold 1930s winter wraps everything in a frosty blanket. Hercule Poirot, the clever Belgian detective with a knack for spotting what others miss, gets a surprising invite to spend Christmas with the Lee family. The host is Simeon Lee, a rich, grumpy old man who made his fortune in diamonds and loves stirring up trouble. Poirot, always ready to sniff out a mystery, feels something's off even before he steps through the door. The Lee family is like a storm waiting to break. There's Alfred, the loyal son who's tired of his father's control. Harry, the charming but greedy son who's back for cash. And George, the stuck-up son who cares about looking important. Their wives, like Lydia, Alfred's quiet but watchful wife, add to the mix, along with Pilar Estrevados, Simeon's mysterious granddaughter from Spain, who shows up out of the blue and makes everyone nervous. Then there's Tressilian, the worn-out butler who knows all the family's secrets. And Horbury, a sneaky valet with a shady vibe. On Christmas Eve, as the family sits down for a tense dinner, a loud scream echoes from Simeon's locked bedroom upstairs. They rush in, breaking down the door, and find Simeon dead, his throat cut, blood soaking the carpet, and a pile of valuable uncut diamonds gone. The police think it's a robbery gone wrong, but Poirot's brain is buzzing. This murder feels planned, and the scene looks too perfect, like someone set it up to fool everyone. Let's dive into why this opening hooks you tight. Agatha Christie is a master at making happy places, like a Christmas party, feel creepy and dangerous. Gorston Hall is big and beautiful, with twinkling lights and holiday decorations, but it's also a trap full of bad feelings and old fights. Simeon Lee was no sweet grandpa. His money came from tough, maybe even dirty, diamond deals, and he loved playing mean games with his family, like teasing them about who'd get his fortune. Alfred's stuck by his dad but seems angry deep down, like he's holding back years of hurt. Harry's all smiles and charm, but you can tell he's here for the money, not love. George acts like he's better than everyone, but his pride makes him look weak. Lydia watches quietly, like she sees right through them all, and Pilar's sudden arrival feels like trouble. Why is she here now? Tressilian, the butler, knows more than he says, and Horbury, the valet, skulks around like he's up to something bad. The locked room is pure Christie magic. How did the killer get in and out with the door bolted? Poirot spots things the police miss. A scuff mark by the fireplace, like someone moved something heavy. A window cracked open just enough to let in the freezing air. And the missing diamonds, which feel like a trick to hide the real reason for the murder. Poirot's way of working is all about watching and thinking. He doesn't run around shouting. He stands back, eyes sharp, taking in every detail. The blood in Simeon's room looks like a wild attack, but the locked door says someone was careful, planning every step. The family's reactions are clues. Alfred's quiet, almost frozen shock. Harry's loud, dramatic crying. George's complaints about the mess. Lydia's calm, almost too calm stare. And Pilar's wide-eyed look, like she's curious instead of scared. The diamonds, worth a ton, make it seem like a robbery. But Poirot thinks they're a cover-up for something deeper, maybe a family secret or an old enemy from Simeon's past. Christie's so good at hiding clues in plain sight. For example, Simeon loved changing his will to mess with his sons, giving them all a reason to hate him. But the way he was killed, his throat cut, so brutal, feels like someone was really angry, not just after money. The Christmas setting makes it even creepier. It's supposed to be a time for love and family, but here it's all about blood and betrayal. Here's a tip for mystery fans. Look for stuff that doesn't fit. That scuff mark, the open window, even the scream that seemed too loud. Christie puts these little hints early to make you think. Try this when you read or watch a mystery. Write down 5 things that seem weird, no matter how small. One of them might just point to the killer. The stakes are huge here. Simeon's murder isn't just a family fight. Those missing diamonds suggest a crime tied to his shady diamond business. Maybe even something bigger, like a deal gone wrong. The locked room makes it scary. Someone at that Christmas dinner, someone eating turkey and laughing, probably killed. Poirot's invite from Simeon himself feels like a big deal. Did the old man know danger was coming and want Poirot there to help? Or was he tricked into bringing the detective into the killer's plan? The snow outside traps everyone in the house, making it feel like a cage where no one can escape. Every word someone says, every look they give, could be a clue. And Poirot's already noticing them, the butler's nervous pause when asked about the day. Pilar's too perfect act of surprise. Horbury's sneaky grin. The Christmas carols drifting through the windows feel wrong next to the blood on the floor, turning this holiday into a nightmare. Poirot's starting to see this isn't just a murder, it's a puzzle with pieces scattered across the family's past, and he's the only one who can put them together. As Chapter 1 comes to a close, Gorston Hall is a house full of secrets, and Simeon Lee's murder has broken the Christmas spirit. The locked room, the missing diamonds, and a family with plenty of reasons to kill make this a mystery only Poirot can crack. Who had the guts to cut Simeon's throat, and how did they get out of a locked room? What secrets was the old man hiding, and who wanted them kept quiet forever? We'll dig into these questions in Chapter 2, where Poirot starts talking to the Lee family and finds the bad feelings driving this holiday murder. If you're excited about this snowy, spooky story, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next chapter. Drop a comment below. Who do you think killed Simeon, or what's your favorite Agatha Christie mystery? Let's solve this deadly Christmas puzzle together. The snow keeps falling round Gorston Hall, trapping the Lee family in a house turned cold by Simeon Lee's brutal murder. His throat was cut in a locked room, blood soaking the carpet, and a fortune in diamonds has vanished, making the Christmas Eve killing feel like more than a robbery. Hercule Poirot, with his sharp mind and keen eyes, knows this is no simple crime. The locked door, the scuff mark by the fireplace, and the slightly open window scream of a planned murder. The family: Alfred, the loyal son; Harry, the greedy charmer; George, the pompous politician; Lydia, the watchful wife; and Pilar, the mysterious granddaughter, along with the butler Tressilian and the shady valet Horbury, are all hiding something. The festive glow of the holiday is gone, replaced by suspicion. Now Poirot starts digging into the family's past, uncovering grudges and secrets that might point to the killer. Picture the tension: a snowed-in mansion, a Christmas tree sparkling in the corner, and a murderer sitting among the family. In this chapter, we'll follow Poirot as he questions the Lees and finds the bad feelings that could have led to bloodshed. Let's jump into Poirot's first move. He gathers the family in the grand drawing room, where the Christmas decorations feel out of place after Simeon's death. Poirot doesn't shout or accuse. He asks simple questions, watching their faces for clues. Alfred, the loyal son, talks about his devotion to his father, but Poirot notices his hands shake when he mentions Simeon's will. Harry, the charming son who left years ago, brags about coming back to make peace. The snow piles higher around Gorston Hall, locking the Lee family in a mansion where the Christmas spirit has been shattered by Simeon Lee's brutal murder. His throat was cut in a locked room, blood staining the festive decorations, and a fortune in diamonds has vanished, turning a holiday gathering into a crime scene. Hercule Poirot, with his keen eyes and sharp mind, knows this is no simple robbery. The scuff mark by the fireplace, the cracked window, and the family's shaky stories point to a planned killing. Alfred, the loyal son, Harry, the greedy charmer, George, the proud politician, Lydia, the watchful wife, and Pilar, the mysterious granddaughter, all hide secrets, while the butler, Tressilian, and the shady valet Horbury add to the suspicion. Poirot's questions have stirred up old grudges, but now he digs into Simeon's past, chasing a clue that could reveal why someone wanted him dead. Picture the scene: a Snowdon house, a Christmas tree glowing in the corner, and a killer hiding among the family. In this chapter, we'll follow Poirot as he uncovers a dark secret from Simeon's history that might hold the key to the murder. Let's dive into Poirot's next step. He's in the library of Gorston Hall, the fire crackling as he sifts through old letters and papers about Simeon's life. The old man wasn't just rich, he was ruthless, building his diamond empire through shady deals that left plenty of enemies. Poirot finds a clue, a letter from years ago, tucked away in a dusty box, hinting at a scandal in Simeon's past. It mentions a woman from his diamond days in South Africa, someone he wronged, and a child he abandoned. Could this be tied to Pilar, the granddaughter who showed up out of nowhere? Poirot's mind races. This secret could explain why Simeon invited her and why someone wanted him silenced. The locked room murder feels personal now, like the killer was settling an old score. The Christmas setting adds a twist while carols play outside. The house is full of hate and Poirot's getting closer to the truth. The family stays under Poirot's sharp watch. He talks to Alfred again, who seems broken by his father's death, but flinches when asked about Simeon's time in South Africa. Harry, all smiles, brushes off questions about the family's past, but Poirot notices his laugh is forced when the old scandal comes up. George, the politician, gets defensive, saying his father's business was clean, but his sweaty hands tell a different story. Lydia, Alfred's wife, stays calm, but her eyes light up when Poirot mentions the letter, like she knows something the others don't. Pilar, the granddaughter, keeps up her innocent act, talking about her life in Spain, but Poirot catches her pausing when asked about her mother, Simeon's daughter. Tressilian, the butler, looks nervous when Poirot asks about visitors from Simeon's past, while Horbury, the valet, smirks like he's enjoying the chaos. Agatha Christie's skill is making everyone look guilty, their secrets piling up like snow outside. Poirot thinks back to the crime scene, the locked room, the blood, the scuff mark, and that open window. He asks Tressilian more about the house, any old passages or hidden doors. The butler shakes his head, but his eyes dart like he's hiding something. Poirot also learns the safe where Simeon kept his diamonds was opened without force, meaning the killer knew the code. The scuff mark by the fireplace bugs him. Was something moved to fake the robbery? The window opened just a bit, seems odd for a freezing night, and that torn curtain nearby suggests someone rushed through. The snow keeps piling up around Gorston Hall, turning the grand mansion into a frozen trap where the Christmas spirit is long gone, replaced by the chill of Simeon Lee's brutal murder. His throat was slashed in a locked room, blood staining. The festive decorations and a pile of valuable diamonds is missing, making this holiday killing more than a simple crime. Hercule Poirot, with his clever mind and sharp eyes, knows the scuff mark by the fireplace, the cracked window, and the family's shaky stories point to a carefully planned murder. The Lee family, Alfred, the loyal son; Harry, the greedy charmer; George, the proud politician; Lydia, the quiet wife; and Pilar, the mysterious granddaughter, along with the butler Tressilian and the sneaky valet Horbury, are all hiding something. Poirot's digging into Simeon's shady past in South Africa has uncovered a scandal involving a wronged woman and an abandoned child, possibly tied to Pilar. Now, a shocking new find in the house deepens the mystery, hinting at a killer with a hidden plan. Picture the scene: a Snowdon manor, a Christmas tree glowing faintly, and a murderer lurking among the family. In this chapter, we'll follow Poirot as he uncovers a clue that flips the case upside down. Let's jump into Poirot's latest discovery. While searching Simeon's room, Poirot finds a hidden compartment in the old man's desk containing a small, worn diary. Inside, there's an entry about a deal gone wrong in South Africa, where Simeon cheated a partner out of a fortune in diamonds. The partner's name is scratched out, but a note mentions a promise to make things right for a child, possibly Pilar's mother. This diary is a bombshell, suggesting Simeon's murder might be revenge for that old betrayal. The locked room killing feels even more personal now, as if the killer knew about this secret and wanted Simeon to pay. Poirot wonders if the missing diamonds were taken to settle that old debt or to hide the truth. The Christmas setting makes it spooky Hercules, and gifts can't cover the hate in this house. And the diary's words echo like a ghost from Simeon's past, pointing to a motive that's been buried for years. The family stays under watchful eye. He talks to Alfred again, who gets tense when asked about his father's diamond days, his face pale like he's scared of what Poirot might find. Harry laughs off questions about South Africa, but his jokes sound forced, and Poirot notices his hands fidget when the diary is mentioned. George, the politician, snaps that his father's business was honest, but his voice shakes, like he's worried about his own secrets. Lydia, Alfred's wife, stays quiet, but her sharp eyes flicker with interest when Poirot hints at the diary, as if she's piecing things together. Pilar, the granddaughter, keeps up her innocent act, chatting about Spain, but she hesitates. When asked about her mother's connection to Simeon's past, Tressilian, the butler, looks uneasy when Poirot asks about old visitors to the house, while Horbury, the valet, gives a sly grin, like he's enjoying the family's discomfort. Agatha Christie's magic is making everyone seem guilty, their secrets stacking up like the snow outside, ready to collapse. Poirot thinks back to the crime scene, the locked room, the blood, the scuff mark, and the open window. He asks Tressilian again about the house, any secret ways in or out. The butler insists there's nothing, but his eyes dart, like he's holding something back. Poirot also learns the safe's combination was changed recently, meaning only Simeon and, maybe someone close to him, knew it. The scuff mark by the fireplace keeps nagging him was a piece of furniture moved to stage the robbery. That cracked window feels wrong for a cold night, and the torn curtain nearby suggests someone rushed through. Christie's clues are clever, hiding in tiny details. For example, Poirot finds a speck of ash near the scuff mark. Not from the fireplace, but from a cigarette, hinting the killer might have lingered. The family's stories don't line up. Lydia says she was in the parlor all evening, but Tresillian saw her near Simeon's room. Harry claims he was in the garden, but the snow shows no tracks. These gaps are where Poirot finds the truth. Here's a tip for mystery fans. Look for hidden objects. Christie loves stashing clues in things like diaries or letters that tie to the past. Try this in your next mystery. Note any old items that pop up. They often hold the key to why someone's killing. In Hercule Poirot's Christmas, the diary is a game changer, making Poirot think the murder is about revenge, not just money. The Christmas setting adds a creepy twist. Lights and presents can't hide the family's anger. Poirot's starting to see Simeon's past catching up with him, and the killer might be someone tied to that old South African deal. His own visit to the house feels like no coincidence. Did Simeon know trouble was coming and want Poirot there to stop it? The snow keeps burying Gorston Hall, locking the Lee family in a mansion where Simeon Lee's brutal murder has snuffed out the Christmas cheer. His throat was slashed in a locked room, blood staining the holiday decorations, and a fortune in diamonds is missing, making this festive killing far more than a robbery. Hercule Poirot, with his clever brain and sharp eyes, knows the scuff mark by the fireplace, the cracked window, and the family's dodgy stories point to a carefully planned crime. Alfred, the loyal son; Harry, the greedy charmer; George, the proud politician; Lydia, the quiet wife; and Pilar, the mysterious granddaughter, all hide secrets, while the butler, Tresillian, and the sneaky valet Horbury add to the puzzle. Poirot's dig into Simeon's shady South African past uncovered a diary hinting at a cheated partner and an abandoned child, possibly linked to Pilar now. A new clue reveals a hidden connection between the family and the murder, putting Poirot on a dangerous trail. Picture the scene: a snowed-in house, a Christmas tree glowing dimly, and a killer hiding among the family. In this chapter, we'll follow Poirot as he chases this connection and gets closer to the truth. Let's dive into Poirot's latest find. While talking to Tresillian, the butler, Poirot learns about a strange visitor who came to Gorston Hall weeks before the murderer. Man claiming to be from Simeon's diamond days in South Africa. Tresillian overheard him arguing with Simeon about making things right for a child, echoing the diary's words. The visitor left angry, and Simeon seemed shaken, which makes Poirot think this man could be tied to the murder. Could he be the cheated partner from the diary, or someone working for him? Poirot connects the dots to Pilar, her sudden arrival from Spain. Claiming to be Simeon's granddaughter feels too convenient. Was she sent by this mysterious man to get close to Simeon, or is she the child he wronged? The locked room murder seems tied to this old grudge, and the missing diamonds might be a cover to hide the real motive: revenge. The Christmas setting makes it creepier. Carols and gifts can't mask the hate in this house, and Poirot's trail is getting hotter. The family stays under Poirot's watchful gaze. He questions Alfred again, who gets jumpy when asked about visitors from his father's past. His voice tight, like he's hiding something big. Harry, the charming son, laughs off the South African talk, but Poirot sees his smile falter when the visitor's argument is mentioned. George, the politician, insists he knows nothing about his father's old deals, but his sweaty palms say otherwise. Lydia, Alfred's wife, stays calm, but her eyes sharpen when Poirot mentions the visitor, like she's piecing together a puzzle of her own. Pilar keeps up her innocent act, chatting about Spain. but she freezes when asked about her mother's ties to South Africa. Tressilian looks worn out, his loyalty to Simeon tested by questions about the visitor, while Horbury, the valet, gives a sly look, like he's enjoying the family's squirming. Agatha Christie's magic keeps everyone looking guilty, their secrets piling up like the snow outside, ready to spill. Poirot pictures the crime scene again, the locked room, the blood, the scuff mark, and that cracked window. He presses Tressilian about the house, any old passages or tricks to get in. The butler swears there's nothing, but his nervous fidgeting makes Poirot wonder. The safe's new combination bugs him only. Simeon knew it, so how did the killer get the diamonds? The scuff mark by the fireplace feels important. Was something moved to fake the robbery? The open window, with that torn curtain, suggests someone slipped out fast. Christie hides clues in these small things. For example, Poirot finds a tiny bead near the window, not from anyone's clothes at dinner, hinting an outsider or someone in disguise was there. The family stories keep slipping. George says he was in his room all night, but Lydia saw him near Simeon's door. Pilar claims she was in the library, but Tressilian didn't see her there. These gaps are where Poirot finds answers. Here's a tip for mystery fans: track strangers in the story. Christie loves tossing in outsiders who stir things up. Try this in your next mystery. Note any new faces or visitors, they might be the key to the crime. In Hercule Poirot's Christmas, the South African visitor is a big clue, making Poirot think the murder is about an old wrong, not just money. The Christmas setting adds a spooky twist. Light and presents can't hide the family's anger. Poirot's starting to see the killer might be tied to this visitor, maybe through Pilar or someone else in the house. His own presence feels like no accident. Did Simeon invite him because he feared his past was catching up? The snow traps everyone in Gorston Hall, making it a cage where the killer's stuck. And Poirot's watching every word and move. As Chapter 5 wraps up, Poirot's clue about the South African visitor has made the mystery even bigger, pointing to a revenge plot from Simeon's past. The family's secrets, the missing diamonds, and the locked room suggest a killer with a deep, personal reason to strike. Who was this visitor, and how are they tied to the murder? We'll dive deeper in Chapter 6. The snow keeps piling up around Gorston Hall, trapping the Lee family in a mansion where Simeon Lee's brutal murder has killed the Christmas spirit. His throat was slashed in a locked room, blood soaking the festive decorations, and a fortune in diamonds is gone, making this holiday killing more than a simple theft. Hercule Poirot, with his sharp mind and keen eyes, knows the scuff mark by the fireplace, the cracked window, and the family's shaky stories point to a carefully planned crime. Alfred, the loyal son; Harry, the greedy charmer; George, the proud politician; Lydia, the quiet wife; and Pilar, the mysterious granddaughter, all hide secrets, while the butler, Tressilian, and the sneaky valet Horbury add to the suspicion. Poirot's dig into Simeon's South African past revealed a diary about a cheated partner and an abandoned child, and a strange visitor's argument hinted at revenge. Now, a shocking new detail puts Poirot right in the killer's path, making the case more dangerous. Picture the scene: a snowed-in house, a Christmas tree glowing faintly, and a murderer lurking among the family. In this chapter, we'll follow Poirot as he uncovers a clue that brings him closer to the killer's shadow. Let's jump into Poirot's latest discovery. While searching the house, Poirot finds a hidden photograph in a dusty book in Simeon's library. It shows a young Simeon with a woman and a child in South Africa, and on the back a name is scrawled, Esther. This matches the diaries. Hint about a wronged woman and a child, and Poirot suspects Esther could be Pilar's mother, tying her to Simeon's betrayal. The photograph is a bombshell. It suggests Pilar's arrival wasn't random, and she might be here to settle an old score. The visitor, Tressilian mentioned, who argued with Simeon about making things right, could be linked to Esther, maybe a relative seeking justice. The locked room murder feels like revenge now, with the missing diamonds as a cover to hide the real reason. The Christmas setting makes it spooky Hercules, and lights can't hide the hate in this house. And Poirot's getting closer to a killer who's watching his every move. The family stays under Poirot's sharp gaze. He questions Alfred again, who gets pale when asked about his father's life in South Africa, his hands shaking like he knows about Esther. Harry, the charming son, laughs off the photograph, but Poirot sees his eyes dart when the name Esther comes up. George, the politician, snaps at his father's past is irrelevant, but his nervous fidgeting says he's scared of what Poirot might uncover. Lydia, Alfred's wife, stays calm, but her lips tighten when Poirot mentions the child in the photo, like she's holding back a secret. Pilar keeps up her innocent act, talking about Spain, but she freezes when asked about her mother's name, dodging the question. Tressilian, the butler, looks uneasy when Poirot asks about old photos or letters, while Horbury, the valet, smirks like he's enjoying the family's panic. Agatha Christie's genius keeps everyone looking guilty, their secrets stacking up like the snow outside. Ready to fall, Poirot pictures the crime scene again, the locked room, the blood, the scuff mark, and that cracked window. He asks Tressilian about hidden spots in the house, any old passages or secret doors. The butler says no, but his voice wavers, like he's hiding something. The safe's new combination keeps bugging Poirot. Simeon knew it, so how did the killer get the diamonds? The scuff mark by the fireplace feels like a clue was something moved to stage the scene. The cracked window and torn curtain suggest someone slipped out fast, and that tiny bead Poirot found nearby doesn't match anyone's clothes from dinner. Christie's clues are sneaky, hiding in small details. For example, Poirot notices a faint smell of perfume near the window, not from Lydia or Pilar, hinting at another woman, maybe Esther, or someone tied to her. The family's stories don't match. Harry says he was in the parlour all night, but Tressilian saw him near Simeon's room. Lydia claims she was downstairs, but a maid heard footsteps upstairs. These gaps are where Poirot finds the truth. Here's a tip for mystery fans. Look for personal connections. Christie loves tying her killers to the victim's past in surprising ways. Try this in your... The snow continues to blanket Gorston Hall, trapping the Lee family in a mansion where Simeon Lee's brutal murder has shattered the Christmas spirit. His throat was slashed in a locked room, blood soaking the festive decorations, and a fortune in diamonds is missing, making this holiday killing more than a simple theft. Hercule Poirot, with his clever mind and sharp eyes, knows the scuff mark by the fireplace, the cracked window, and the family's shaky stories point to a carefully planned crime. Alfred, the loyal son, Harry, the greedy charmer, George, the proud politician, Lydia, the quiet wife, and Pilar, the mysterious granddaughter, all hide secrets, while the butler, Tressilian, and the sneaky valet Horbury add to the puzzle. Poirot's dig into Simeon's South African past uncovered a diary and a photograph of a woman named Esther, hinting at a cheated partner and an abandoned child, possibly tied to Pilar. The mysterious visitor who argued with Simeon adds to the intrigue. Now, a risky lead puts Poirot in danger, as a chilling threat shows the killer is watching. Picture the scene: a snowed-in house, a Christmas tree glowing faintly, and a murderer lurking among the family. In this chapter, we'll follow Poirot as he chases this lead and faces a killer's warning. Let's dive into Poirot's latest move. While poking around the village near Gorston Hall, Poirot hears from a local shopkeeper about a stranger who was asking about Simeon just days before the murder. The shopkeeper describes a man with a South African accent, matching Tressilian's story of the visitor who argued with Simeon about making things right. Poirot tracks down a clue: a torn train ticket stub found near the estate, dated the day of the visitor's argument, suggesting he came from London and might be tied to Esther or her child. This lead is dangerous. Poirot's questions are stirring up trouble, and late at night he finds a note slipped under his door: "Leave the past alone, or you'll regret it." The handwriting is rough, but it's a clear threat, telling Poirot the killer knows he's getting close. The Locktrue murder feels like a revenge plot now, with the diamonds as a cover to hide the real motive. The Christmas setting makes it spookier: carols and lights can't hide the fear in this house, and Poirot's walking a tightrope. The family stays under Poirot's sharp watch. He questions Alfred again, who gets nervous when asked about the South African stranger, his voice shaking like he's scared of what Poirot might uncover. Harry, the charming son, brushes off talk of the visitor with a laugh, but Poirot sees his hands clench when Esther's name comes up. George, the politician, snaps at his father's past has nothing to do with the murder, but his eyes dart, like he's hiding a secret. Lydia, Alfred's wife, stays calm, but her gaze sharpens when Poirot mentions the train ticket, as if she's connecting dots of her own. Pilar keeps up her innocent act, chatting about Spain, but she pauses when asked about her mother's ties to South Africa, her smile too stiff. Tressilian, the butler, looks rattled when Poirot asks about the stranger's visit, while Horbury, the valet, gives a sly grin, like he's enjoying the family's fear. Agatha Christie's genius keeps everyone looking guilty, their secrets piling up like the snow outside, ready to collapse. Poirot pictures the crime scene again: the locked room, the blood, the scuff mark, and that cracked window. He asks Tressilian about the house, any hidden ways in or out. The butler insists there's none, but his shaky hands make Poirot doubt him. The safe's new combination keeps nagging only: Simeon knew it, so how did the killer get the diamonds? The scuff mark by the fireplace feels like a clue: was something moved to fake the robbery? The cracked window and torn curtain suggest someone slipped out fast, and that tiny bead Poirot found doesn't match anyone's clothes from dinner. Christie's clues hide in these small details. For example, Poirot notices a faint scratch on the window frame, like someone climbed out, hinting at an outside helper or someone in the house playing a part. The family's stories don't add up. Fred says he was in the library all night, but a maid saw him near Simeon's room. Pilar claims she was reading downstairs, but no one saw her there. These gaps are where Poirot finds the truth. Here's a tip for mystery fans: watch for warnings. Christie often uses threats to show the killers panic, revealing they're scared of getting caught. Try this: in your next mystery, note any messages or signs that try to stop the detectives. They often point to the truth. In Hercule Poirot's Christmas, the note to Poirot is a bold move, showing the killer's worried about his digging into the South African past. The snow keeps piling up around Gorston Hall, turning the grand mansion into a frozen trap where Simeon Lee's brutal murder has snuffed out the Christmas cheer. His throat was slashed in a locked room, blood staining the festive decorations. And a fortune in diamonds is missing, making this holiday killing more than a simple theft. Hercule Poirot, with his sharp mind and keen eyes, knows the scuff mark by the fireplace, the cracked window, and the family's dodgy stories point to a carefully planned crime. Alfred, the loyal son, Harry, the greedy charmer, George, the proud politician, Lydia, the quiet wife, and Pilar, the mysterious granddaughter, all hide secrets. While the butler, Tressilian, and the sneaky valet Horbury add to the puzzle. Poirot's digging into Simeon's South African past uncovered a diary, a photograph of a woman named Esther, and a mysterious visitor who argued about making things right, hinting at revenge. A threatening note to Poirot shows the killer is watching. Now, a new clue reveals a desperate move by the killer, pulling Poirot closer to danger. Picture the scene: a snowed-in house, a Christmas tree glowing dimly, and a murderer lurking among the family. In this chapter, we'll follow Poirot as he uncovers a clue that tightens the net around the killer. Let's dive into Poirot's latest find. While searching the attic of Gorston Hall, Poirot discovers a hidden box containing a letter addressed to Simeon, postmarked from South Africa just weeks before his death. The letter, unsigned, demands he pay for his sins and mentions Esther's child, suggesting someone from his past was closing in. The paper smells faintly of the same perfume Poirot noticed near the crime scene's window, linking it to the murder. This clue is a game changer. It proves the killer, or someone helping them, was in contact with Simeon recently, and the murder was no spur-of-the-moment act. Poirot suspects the letter ties to the South African visitor and possibly Pilar, whose arrival seems too perfectly timed. The locked room murder feels like a carefully planned revenge, with the missing diamonds as a cover to hide the real motive. The Christmas setting makes it creepier carols, and lights can't mask the fear in this house. And Poirot's getting closer to a killer who's growing desperate. The family stays under Poirot's watchful gaze. He questions Alfred again, who gets shaky when asked about letters from South Africa, his eyes darting like he's hiding a secret. Harry, the charming son, laughs off the letter, but Poirot sees his smile fade when Esther's name comes up, like it stirs a bad memory. George, the politician, snaps that his father's old business is irrelevant, but his nervous fidgeting betrays his fear. Lydia, Alfred's wife, stays calm, but her fingers tighten on her teacup when Poirot mentions the perfume, as if she's piecing something together. Pilar keeps up her innocent act, chatting about Spain, but she hesitates when asked about her mother's ties to South Africa, her voice too careful. Tressilian, the butler, looks rattled when Poirot asks about recent mail, while Horbury, the valet, gives a sly grin like he's enjoying the family's panic. Agatha Christie's brilliance keeps everyone looking guilty, their secrets stacking up like the snow outside, ready to spill. Poirot pictures the crime scene again, the locked room, the blood, the scuff mark, and that cracked window. He asks Tressilian about the house's layout, any hidden passages or old tricks. The butler swears there's nothing, but his trembling hands make Poirot doubt him. The safe's new combination keeps bugging him only. Simeon knew it, so how did the killer get the diamonds? The scuff mark by the fireplace feels like a clue was something moved to stage the robbery. The cracked window, with its torn curtain and that tiny bead, suggests someone slipped out fast. Christie's clues hide in these small details. For example, Poirot finds a speck of wax near the window, Matching candles used in the attic, hinting the killer might have been there. The family's stories don't line up. Lydia says she was in the parlor all night, but a maid heard her upstairs. Harry claims he was in his room, but Tressilian saw him near the attic stairs. These gaps are where Poirot finds the truth, his. A tip for mystery fans: look for repeated clues. Christie loves using things like smells or objects to tie scenes together. Try this in your next mystery. Note any detail that shows up twice, like a scent or a sound it might point to the killer. In Hercule Poirot's Christmas, the perfume linking the letter and the crime scene is a big hint, making Poirot think the killer is tied to Esther's past. The Christmas setting adds a spooky twist light, and presents can't hide the family's fear. Poirot's starting to see the killer's desperation, especially after that threatening note, meaning they're scared of him getting too close. His own presence in the house feels planned. Did Simeon invite him because he knew his past was catching up? The snow keeps everyone trapped in Gorston Hall, making it a cage where the killer's stuck, and Poirot's watching every word and move as Chapter 8 wraps up. Poirot's discovery of the South African letter has made the mystery more dangerous, pointing to a revenge plot tied to Esther and Simeon's past. The family's secrets, the missing diamonds, and the locked rooms suggest a killer who's getting nervous. Who sent the letter, and how are they tied to the murder? We'll dive deeper in Chapter 9, where Poirot uncovers a shocking truth that puts him face to face with the killer's plan. If you're loving this snowy, spooky mystery, smash that like button. The snow keeps burying Gorston Hall, turning the grand mansion into a frozen cage where Simeon Lee's brutal murder has crushed the Christmas spirit. His throat was slashed in a locked room, blood staining the festive decorations, and a fortune in diamonds is missing, making this holiday killing more than a simple theft. Hercule Poirot, with his sharp mind and keen eyes, knows the scuff mark by the fireplace, the cracked window, and the family's shaky stories point to a carefully planned crime. Alfred, the loyal son; Harry, the greedy charmer; George, the proud politician; Lydia, the quiet wife; and Pilar, the mysterious granddaughter, all hide secrets, while the butler, Tressilian, and the sneaky valet Horbury add to the puzzle. Poirot's digging into Simeon's South African past uncovered a diary, a photograph of a woman named Esther, a mysterious visitor, and a threatening letter demanding Simeon pay for his sins. A note threatening Poirot shows the killer is watching. Now, a shocking truth ties the clues together, revealing the killer's plan and putting Poirot closer to danger. Picture the scene: a snowed-in house, a Christmas tree glowing dimly, and a murderer lurking among the family. In this chapter, we'll follow Poirot as he uncovers a truth that brings him face to face with the killer's scheme. Let's dive into Poirot's latest breakthrough. While examining the photograph of Esther and the South African letter, Poirot finds a hidden clue: a locket tucked away in Simeon's room, engraved with Esther's initials and containing a tiny photo of a young girl who looks strikingly like Pilar. This locket confirms Pilar isn't just a random granddaughter. She's the child of Esther, the woman Simeon wronged in South Africa. Poirot suspects Pilar came to Gorston Hall not for family but for revenge, possibly working with the mysterious visitor who argued with Simeon. The letter's demand to pay for his sins matches the locket's story, suggesting Pilar or someone close to her planned the murder to settle an old score. The locked room killing feels like a deliberate act of vengeance, with the stolen diamonds as a cover to hide the real motive. The Christmas setting makes it creepier carols, and lights can't mask the hate in this house. And Poirot's closing in on a killer who's running out of moves. The family stays under Poirot's sharp gaze. He confronts Alfred about the locket, and the loyal son's face goes white, his voice trembling as he denies knowing Esther. Harry, the charming son, laughs off the locket's importance, but Poirot sees his eyes flicker with panic when Pilar's connection is mentioned. George, the politician, snaps that the family's past is private, but his sweaty hands betray his fear. Lydia, Alfred's wife, stays calm, but her lips tighten when Poirot shows her the locket, like she's been waiting for this clue. Pilar keeps up her innocent act, chatting about Spain, but her hands shake when asked about the locket, and she dodges questions about her mother. Tressilian, the butler, looks shaken when Poirot mentions Esther's name, while Horbury, the valet, gives a sly grin, like he's enjoying the family's unraveling. Agatha Christie's brilliance keeps everyone looking guilty, their secrets piling up like the snow outside, ready to collapse. Poirot pictures the crime scene again, the locked room, the blood, the scuff mark, and that cracked window. He asks Tressilian about the house, any forgotten passages or tricks. The butler insists there's nothing, but his nervous eyes make Poirot doubt him. The safe's new combination keeps bugging. Only Simeon knew it, so how did the killer get the diamonds? The scuff mark by the fireplace feels like a clue was something moved to stage the robbery. The cracked window, with its torn curtain, that tiny bead, and the faint perfume, suggests someone slipped out fast. Christie's clues hide in these small details. For example, Poirot finds a trace of makeup on the locket, matching the perfume. Near the window, hinting Poirot, someone posing as her was at the crime scene. The family's stories don't add up. Pilar says she was in her room all night, but a maid saw her near Simeon's door. George claims he was downstairs, but Tressilian heard footsteps upstairs. These gaps are where Poirot finds the truth. Here's a tip for mystery fans: look for family ties. Christie loves hiding killers in family secrets, using old betrayals to drive the crime. Try this in your next mystery. Note any clues about relatives or past promises. They often point to the motive. In Hercule Poirot's Christmas, the locket tying Pilar to Esther is a huge clue, making Poirot think the murder is about revenge for a family wronged. The Christmas setting adds a spooky twist presence, and lights can't hide the families. Fear Poirot's starting to see Pilar as the key, possibly working with the South African visitor to punish Simeon. His own presence feels planned. Simeon invite him because he feared his past was catching up. The snow keeps everyone trapped in Gorston Hall, making it a cage where the killer's stuck. And Poirot's watching every word and move. As Chapter 9 wraps up, Poirot's discovery of the locket has tied the clues together, pointing to a revenge plot rooted in Simeon's South African betrayal. The family's secrets, the missing diamonds, and the locked room suggest a killer with a personal score to settle. Is Pilar the mastermind, or is someone using her past to hide their own guilt? We'll dive deeper in Chapter 10, where Poirot sets a trap to catch the killer and reveal the final truth. If you're loving this snowy, spooky mystery, smash that like button, subscribe. The snow keeps Gorston Hall locked tight, a frozen prison where Simeon Lee's brutal murder has crushed the Christmas spirit. His throat was slashed in a locked room, blood staining the festive decorations, and a fortune in diamonds is missing, making this holiday killing more than a simple theft. Hercule Poirot, with his sharp mind and keen eyes, knows the scuff mark by the fireplace, the cracked window, and the family's shaky stories point to a carefully planned crime. Alfred, the loyal son; Harry, the greedy charmer; George, the proud politician; Lydia, the quiet wife; and Pilar, the mysterious granddaughter, all hide secrets, while the butler, Tressilian, and the sneaky valet Horbury add to the puzzle. Poirot's digging into Simeon's South African past uncovered a diary, a photograph of a woman named Esther, a mysterious visitor, and a threatening letter, with a locket tying Pilar to Simeon's betrayal. A note threatening Poirot shows the killer is desperate. Now Poirot sets a clever trap to catch the killer and reveal the truth. Picture the scene: a Snowdon house, a Christmas tree glowing dimly, and a murderer cornered by Poirot's brilliance. In this chapter, we'll follow him as he unmasks the killer and solves the Christmas murder. Let's dive into Poirot's final move. He gathers the family in the drawing room, the fire crackling under the Christmas lights, and announces he's found the killer. Poirot reveals his trap. He planted a fake clue, a letter claiming the diamonds were hidden in the house to see who'd take the bait. Late last night, he caught Horbury the valet sneaking into Simeon's room, searching for the diamonds. Poirot explains Horbury isn't just a valet, he's Esther's son, abandoned by Simeon in South Africa, and the mysterious visitor who argued with him. Horbury used Pilar's arrival as a cover, pretending to be a loyal servant while planning revenge. He killed Simeon, staging the locked room murder with a hidden wire to move the window from outside, and stole the diamonds to frame it as a robbery. The locket, letter, and perfume were his mistakes, tying him to the crime. The Christmas setting makes the reveal chilling. Carols and gifts can't hide the hate that drove Horbury to murder. The family's reactions seal the truth. Alfred gasps when Poirot names Horbury, his shock real, showing he didn't suspect. The valet, Harry's laugh dies, his face pale as he realizes he missed Horbury's sneaky moves. George, the politician, stammers, admitting he saw Horbury near Simeon's room, but stayed quiet, scared of scandal. Lydia nods, her calm eyes confirming she suspected Horbury's odd behavior. Pilar, shaken, admits she's Esther's daughter, but knew nothing of Horbury's plan. She came to claim her inheritance, not revenge. Tressilian, the butler, looks relieved, his loyalty to Simeon clear. While Horbury tries to run but is stopped by police, Poirot called Agatha Christie's genius shines here, making Horbury the least likely suspect, a servant hiding in plain sight. Using the family's secrets to cover his tracks, Poirot revisits the crime scene in his mind. The locked room, the blood, the scuff mark, and that cracked window. The scuff mark was from Horbury moving a heavy chair to rig the window, and the tiny bead was from his coat, not the family's clothes. The perfume was Esther's, kept by Horbury as a reminder of his mother, linking him to the letter and crime scene. The safe's combination. Horbury overheard Simeon use it, sneaking in to steal the diamonds. Christie's clues were clever. The torn curtain, the cigarette ash, the makeup on the locket all pointed to Horbury's careful plan. The family's stories fell apart. Pilar wasn't near Simeon's room, as Horbury claimed to throw suspicion on her. The locked room was his trick, using the wire to make it seem impossible. The Christmas setting was his cover, the holiday chaos hiding his moves. But Poirot saw through it. Here's a tip for mystery fans: look for the quiet ones. Christie loves hiding killers in the background, like servants or overlooked characters. Try this. In your next mystery, note anyone who seems unimportant. They might be the key. In Hercule Poirot's Christmas, Horbury's sneaky valet act was the perfect disguise, making Poirot's reveal a shock. The Christmas setting adds a creepy twist. Lights and presents couldn't hide Horbury's revenge. Poirot's presence was no accident. Simeon invited him, sensing danger from his past. The snow trapped everyone in Gorston Hall, giving Poirot time to watch and catch the killer. His trap was brilliant, using the fake letter to make Horbury slip, proving no one outsmarts Hercule Poirot. As Chapter 10 wraps up, Poirot has unmasked Horbury as the killer, solving the Christmas murder and saving the family from more danger. The locked room, the missing diamonds, and Simeon's South African past all pointed to a revenge plot that Poirot's clever trap exposed. The holiday spirit returns to Gorston Hall, but the scars of betrayal remain. Thank you for joining us on this snowy, spooky journey through Agatha Christie's masterpiece. If you loved this mystery, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Drop a comment below. Did you guess Horbury was the killer? Or what's your favorite Christie twist? Let's keep the detective spirit alive and dive into another mystery soon.